The idea of tethering came from my observations of nature. Seeing plants clinging to windswept granite outcrops and trees holding on to rocky ridges and the amazing exposed root systems of river red gums, as well as from just the day-to-day activities when you're camping or on a farm. You're always tying things down, tensioning the guy ropes on a tent. These inspirations came together, and I guess the word tethering I find very interesting because, of course, it is about connecting and holding on, but it doesn't have to be secure or holding fast. Tethering allows for a bit of movement. Every year I go up to Murchison House Station, which is near Kalbarri, in the Midwest, north of Geraldton. This is Nanda Yamatji country. It's an incredibly complex and rugged landscape, and the sense of history there is immense, and I find it incredibly inspiring. Over the last few years, I've started burying cloth under the leaves for a period of time, and so the cloth and the canvas and the paper might lie there for 6 weeks, just letting nature have the conversation with that surface. It's always exciting to uncover and retrieve these materials because you really don't know what you're going to get, and every piece is different. It's had the staining from the tannins of the leaves. Depending on how much rainfall's happened, will really determine the state of that cloth. It's just quite intriguing to sort of uncover the cloth. And so those materials have become the surfaces with which I've made some of the artworks in this exhibition. I really like to use the leaves and bark from the beautiful river red gums to dye cloth with. It's a really lovely thing to do over a campfire. The cloth becomes sort of the carrier of some of the essence of those places, of those leaves and the trees, and I just love smelling the cloth once it's come out of the dye pot because it's just got this beautiful eucalypt smell and it just takes me back to that place. There's a couple of particular stands of trees along this creek line that I've got to know, and I go there in the early morning and record the birds, and it's just a beautiful experience. And I've used one of these recordings to be the basis for an embroidery piece. I've given a symbol to each of the bird calls, and it's become really like a map of that experience. In April 2021, Cyclone Seroja ripped through the Midwest and it caused immense damage. A couple of months after that cyclone had gone through, we visited the station and I came across this tree that had been just ripped out of the ground and out of the rocky ledge that it was growing on. It's this huge tree that was just, horizontal on the ground, and I've been documenting it over the last few years. It's just such an example of resilience because, I expected the tree to basically die, but it's actually really flourishing. When I was thinking about this exhibition, I wanted to find a way to express my personal sense of connection to this place, and so I have used a silhouette of myself and immersed that into the landscape, basically. I've had it in the creek bed with the water trickling over it. I've had it laying on rocks and I've rubbed rock pigment into it. Quite weathered now, and that has become the basis for one of the artworks. It's all about really trying to find a way to express my connection. As I've been working with the materials for this exhibition, I've thought of how the idea of tethering has much broader relevance. Finding ways to connect and tethering with the potential for movement, for a bit of give and take. I think this is important in life, in relationships, in a community. It's a recipe for getting on, for cooperating and collaborating.